Hi guys, I am Vignesh from Kaliri e-learning platform. Now I am going to model this Pulley design simply with a different perspective. First select this right plane and create new sketch. Draw a center point rectangle from the center of its portions and choose this midpoint. Holding your control button, selecting this origin point, then fix it using coincide constraints. Afterwards, just let me what is the dimensions for that. It is total of 610 diameter. So half of the value, it is a radius value 610 divided by 2, 305 mm. The vertical length is 305 mm. Next to horizontal length. This is have the dimensions of 116 mm. Once we draw the profile, next we need to formations of an eye profiles. That's why I am going to draw a corner rectangular profile on the left end of the sections. Either we can draw another rectangular profile, but instead of giving the dimensions, I am going to prefer the mirror entities also. First fix this overall rectangle, both the top one as well as the bottom one. The bottom dimension is the total of 122 divided by 2 because we need to initiate half of the values itself. Afterwards, what is the dimensions for this area? It is nothing but the dimensions of 20 mm. If you take a look on this bottom, it is total of 20 mm dimensions. Half of the value is only 10 mm. So mentioned only 10 mm in these locations. Then draw one vertical reference line. We just use it to create a mirror portions from left to right. First, you carefully select this corner rectangle using a mirror entities to mirror this profile from left to right. Once the entire portion is mirrored, just exit the sketch right now. After that, we just prefer whatever the exact preference we have. That is a create either creation of a pocket or a chamfer formations. Now, using a selected contour to choose this particular portion of its area, then selecting this bottom horizontal line to create a complete pulley portions. Next, what we need to do is, we just need to create a pocket, revolved cut pocket. Selecting the same right plane and create a new sketch, draw one corner rectangle. Look at this bottom of its portions. This gear teeth have the dimensions of bottom and top. So draw simply a rectangular profile, corner rectangle, and mention the dimensions of 22 mm. It is positions under the horizontal dimensions of 8 mm. Then what is this vertical dimensions? If you take a look on this area, both the top one as well as the bottom one, the 14 mm distance is considered from its top edges. So mention 14 mm here. Afterwards, choose this overall profile using a linear sketch pattern. Now choose this overall profile and choose linear sketch pattern. All that it is selected on entities to pattern. What is the total distance? That is an invisible distance 22 plus 4 mm. That is a small distance of the teeth area. 22 plus 4 is 26 mm. Once it is mentioned and increase the number of the instance, it is only 4 numbers. Once the number of the instance are created under a linear sketch pattern, now we are going to use it to make a pocket. Okay, instead of selecting one by one each of its every profiles to make it into a constraints, let's draw a rest of the profiles also. Now draw one horizontal center line and use these profiles to either create a pocket. Instead of that, I am going to minimize the specification tree. That's why I am going to draw one bottom of its tapered area. That is a tapered revolve cut portions. Let's create a slope formations now. Draw one horizontal line to made from a right edge to left edge. Then draw one vertical line, close this entire profiles. Once the entire profile gets closed, now fix this first point. It is a total of 70 mm. Then fix this second profile. It is a total of 65 mm. It is mentioned now using this to make a complete revolve cut pocket. Choosing this revolve cut and form a pocket. Look at it, but if you take a look on this top of its portion, we need a teeth formations, but it is simply a revolve cut by using of a rectangular profiles and chamfer profiles. What we going to use this using a chamfer to make an angular cut formation. Normally, if you select one of its particular area, that is either applying a values, now I am going to prefer a 25 mm of degree and What is the total distance? It is 14 mm. So selecting each of its every individual edges, choose flip direction. Exactly select next to each of its every circular edges one by one. This is a one kind of a selection process. Next select an opposite circular edge and choose a flip direction again. So the chamfer it is flipped and exactly gets the proper output. 14 mm chamfer distance and the angular value is only 25 degree. Look at it. Now we automatically create a teeth formations under that. Simply, let's draw a rest of its portions to create a pocket. So selecting a center point circle, draw a circle that is a pitch circle profile. What is the dimensions for this area? Take a look on our drawing. The radius value is 145 mm. So 145 into 2 is the diameter value. Then change it into a pitch circle. It is only for a reference purpose to create the rest of the circular area and pocket formations. This is selecting this circle and change it into a reference line. Afterwards, from the top of its quadrant point, now I am going to draw another circular profile. It is have the dimensions of 110 mm. Now choose the circular sketch pattern. Based on this reference, we create a number of the instants, that is in 6 different instants in these positions. Then just to check this box, dimensions, angular spacing. Once it is preferred, also choose each of its center point to mate or coincide with this pitch circle area. Just to select a 2 center point, it's enough to fix this overall circular profile. Exit the sketch right now and form a pocket. Selecting this profile, using an extruder cut to make a pocket. In this area, we are going to create another pocket, that is a key section portions. So selecting the circular edges, innermost circular edges, and choose the convert entities, then draw a center point rectangle positions. The dimensions for this rectangle is horizontal dimension is 20 mm. Then the vertical dimensions from the center point is only 9 mm. Once it is mentioned, the circular profile and the rectangular profile is fixed. Exit the sketch. Using this profile, we are going to create a pocket. So now select an extruded cut. Under selected contours, choose each of its every individual closed portions. Once it is picked, also selecting this closed portions of a rectangular area. Now choose through wall both type. The pocket is formed under the overall distance. It is easily calculated the overall distance and create a new numbers. This is how the simple pulley design is designed with another perspective. Thank you.